Is AMADOU ONANA a £50 million flop? Is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, the reason I thought I'd cover this is because I've seen it quite a lot on Twitter, and I believe it's grown from frustrations about just how many games he has missed for Villa. Then he goes on international duty with Belgium and plays both games. Granted, he didn't play 90 in both games, but a decent amount of minutes starting the second game, and yet we barely get to see him in an Aston Villa shirt since we signed him, really, and we'll be going through that today. And we did pay quite a substantial fee for him, which, considering all of our issues with PSR and SCR this season, I think frustrations have grown from it, and that's fair enough. So we're going to be looking at his actual record for Villa, what he's done for Villa on the pitch. Let's focus on that stuff first, the good stuff that he has done when he laces up the boots in claret and blue. But we are going to look at his injury record, and we're going to look at another reason why I believe people are feeding into this £50 million flop section, and to an extent, it might be granted. I don't know. We're going to go through that all now, and then I'll make my decision at the end. But I want to hear your decisions, of course, as well. So comment down below, do you think Onana is a £50 million flop? Now, the support on the channel over the past week or so has been absolutely spectacular. We have smashed our goal of 3,700 subscribers. Can we get to 3,800 by the end of the month, by the end of next month? I don't even know how many days have we got. We've got like 14 days or something left in this month. Can you do it? Share it around all your Villa fans. Loads of Villa content coming up on the channel. So leave a like, subscribe down below. Turn the notification bell on, then you won't miss a thing. But let's have a look at what Onana does on the pitch before we get into that substantial injury record. So, AMADOU ONANA for Villa on the pitch. Now, bearing in mind, and I say it, he's only 24 years of age, and he's only just turned 24. So it's an investment, you know what I mean? We weren't buying the finished article. We were buying someone who probably will be the finished article in a year or two. However, his injuries are seriously going to hamper that. They're going to slow down that progression. Obviously plays in the middle of the pitch, 195 centimetres tall. Now, that height does allow one thing, and that is for Villa to play Konsa and Pau, who I think is probably our best centre-back partnership, in terms of on the ball and how we want to play football, and still have an aerial presence. Because those two as centre-backs, you know me, there's a reason Konsa's on the wall behind me. It's because I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League and in England right now. But aerially, him and Pau leave something to be desired. Onana comes in and he sweeps that up aerially. No problems. Now, this season, only 155 minutes played. The stats are not going to paint him in a great light. The duels won, the aerial duels won are going to be really good. His per 90s are going to be fantastic defensively. I can tell you that for free without even looking. You know what I mean? There they are on the screen. But 8 duels won per 90, 3 aerial duels won per 90. 3 interceptions rather, nearly 6 recoveries. Blocking a shot every 90. That percentage is obviously very, very good. We've already seen that. The dribbles per 90, very good. He's got 10-foot long legs. You ain't getting the ball off of him. But again, he's played barely any minutes, and that is because of injury. Now, last season, if we look here, his first season for Villa, a little bit better. Got the 3 goals, scored 2 goals very early on in the season, then that absolute peach against Newcastle. No assists, though. On the ball, he does leave something to be desired. Now, whether that's because we're used to watching Douglas Luiz, Boubacar Kamara, Yuri Tielemans, all players that are absolutely silky and brilliant on the ball. Onana isn't quite there on the ball yet for me, but that dribble success still really, really good. The tackles, the interceptions, the duels, the aerial duels, all fantastic. That is Onana's game, and he does it well. But you'll notice there's a lot of oranges and reds in there as well, and that's because you flick over to the per 90s again. There's going to be a little bit better with some of the stats here. It's because he barely played football for us last season because of these reoccurring injuries. Now, if we go season by season here on the right-hand side, you'll see last season he played 34 games for Villa. 26 in the Premier League, 2 in the FA Cup, 1 in the EFL Cup, and 5 in the Champions League. And this season, he's only managed 3. I mean, you go back even in his Everton days, 30 in the Premier League, 33 isn't too bad. Now, this Lille season is probably the last one where he's played. Is it his only season where he's played over 40 games? It is the only season he's played over 40 games in a season. And it was in 2021 to 2022. Now, you might think, well, 34 games is a lot of games for last season. Well, let's compare it with one of Emery's ever presence in Ezri Konsa. here as it loads up. For Aston Villa last season, 50 and 50, 40 games there once we started getting into European competition. That is the step up between a good Premier League player and an elite player who wants to play in Europe. Another one, for argument's sake, Captain Fantastic has become an ever reliable player under Unai Emery. Has John McGinn been able to make, bearing in mind we signed him for like £1 million when we were in the Championship, has he made the step up? 53 games 2 seasons ago, 49 games last season. That is the type of play amount you have to do. And I don't know whether Onana's capable of it. So here we are on transfer market. We're going to look at every season, or all competitions, that Onana has played for Aston Villa. And like we say there, it's 37 games, getting 5 goals and 0 assists. Now, if we go down here, we're going to look through all the competitions and the amount of games that are possible for him to have played and that he's missed through injury. Now, in the Champions League, a total possible games, this is maths with Rogers, well done. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 possible games. Injured for 4. So that is already, I mean, what's that, like a third of Champions League games for Villa missed with injury. He's missed every possible Europa League game, bearing in mind it is only 2, through injury. Not fantastic. Now in the Premier League, we're going to go down and look at the bottom, but this is from the very first game possible in the Premier League, West Ham, where he got that goal. And Leicester got a goal there as well. Again, we're starting to see the injuries creep in. United, injury. Palace, Chelsea, Brentford, injured. Missed loads of games there. And obviously all of these games here. So, he's been in a squad 31 times, starting 11 22 times, substituted in 7, on the bench 2, injured 14. 14. That is bad, isn't it? I mean, that's 14 out of what? 38 plus 7... God, my maths, 45. So 14 out of 45 games. It's like, it's creeping up to like the high 30, 40 percentages, I think, maybe. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Maths is not my strong point, I've said it before. But again, 14 Premier League games missed through injury. So now we're up to 16 plus 4, 20 games currently missed through injury. The FA Cup and the EFL Cup are last 2 competitions we're going to look at. FA Cup, possible games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, missed 2, nearly half. If he missed 1 more, that was half. So that's 22 games now missed through injury. EFL Cup, he has missed, well, to be fair, he wasn't in the squad for the Palace game, so we're not going to look too much into that. Let's say possible 2 games, he's missed 1 through injury. That's still half. So that's 23 games in 2 seasons. Amadou Onana has missed for Villa through injury. Now on the screen you can actually see his sort of injury history over the time of his career. Missed no games for Lille, but missed 2 for Hamburg, 3 for Hamburg, 8 for Everton. But his injury record wasn't actually too bad, right? Like, not anything really that would cause you any major concern signing a player, hence why he passed his medical, etc, etc, etc. And then he signs for Villa, right? And we get unlucky. Now, he did have a calf injury in the 23-24 season, kept him out for 6 games in total. This is a combination of possible games that he could play for the Belgian national team as well as his club competitions. But he hasn't actually had any recurrence of that injury. To be fair, it's been this hamstring that has plagued his time at Aston Villa. And you can see, total amount of days there, 16, 14, 13, 36, and most recently, 43. He missed 19 games through injury last season. In total, this again takes into account possible games for the Belgian national team and 10 in this season so far. So that's 29 games in total missed through injury. Now, Belgium have clearly got the luckier of the 2 because we've just figured out he missed 23 of those for Villa. And all of a sudden you can see why people are getting concerned. Now, another reason I think possibly Onana is being labelled as this flop is the price tag, right? £50 million. It's a lot of money for Villa to spend. And it came off the back of us selling Moussa Diaby, who was a fan favourite. price tags sometimes can be hard to live up to, and sometimes they kill players' careers completely. But what doesn't help him is that at the moment, a certain lad called Lamar Bogard, who we signed for free as a youth player, is playing really, bloody hell, really, really well. Not a good look. Now, next to Bogard, we might have one of our best players over the past few seasons, Boubacar Kamara, another one we signed for absolutely free. Now, if Bogard isn't playing, we have this lad coming back from injury. Oh, bloody hell, if I can spell. This lad coming back from injury within the next few weeks. Another player we signed for free. That, by the way, might be the greatest free centre midfield partnership of all time. I don't know. Maybe. And now, if Kamara's injured, another player that can drop in if he doesn't have to play out wide is Super John McGinn, signed for £1.5 million. Value for money wise, I can see the fans' frustrations. It begs the question, is AMADOU ONANA a £50 million flop? I don't know. The injury record isn't fantastic. It's a reoccurring hamstring issue. Last person I've seen with this type of injury is Jacob Ramsey. I believe he's already out injured for Newcastle, and it did hamper his career quite a lot to the point that we sold him. He needs to get fit, and he needs to play to prove the fans wrong, because the more he's out injured, the more these players that we've signed for free, I don't know why I put that up, it's free as in the FREE, the players that we signed for 1.5 million, the youth players that will come through. There's another youth lad that played CDM in pre-season. I'll put a picture of him up on the screen because his name has just completely gone from my head. The more these lads shine, it's looking like a really bad investment. But what do you think? Comment down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Tottenham preview. Premier League's back, baby!